maybe. Would it help if I reflected back to you what I just heard? Or her favourite. I'm more interested in why you've posed the question. She really loves that one. My money's on that. She says, yes, you should. And I feel nauseous. I immediately understand that I came here because I thought she would not be allowed to give me the answer my heart already knew. Thanks, I say as I stand. Sorry, I have to go to work, Jacqueline continues. We spent a great deal of time discussing your relationship, and it is obviously very flawed. In addition, your demeanour today suggests you may need some time to focus on yourself. Thanks, I say again. Also, before you go, says Jacqueline, and I take a deep breath. She clears her throat. I can't see you again. I think some boundaries have been crossed here. I can recommend someone very good, very firm. She turns and writes something on a handily placed book of notelets on the island and passes it to me. I have an urge to sniff it, but I put it in my trouser pocket. Thanks, I say, and leave. This is the end. Actually, this is not quite the end. The end is 12 minutes later when I'm on the bus, rumbling along the Brighton seafront towards the concrete prison that serves as my place of work. I send Alexander a text, terminating our 6-year marriage. It reads, "We are over." Less than 30 seconds later, he replies, "Okay." Chapter 2. Why I stand by endings. Beginnings are bullshit. Let me tell you about the start of Alexander and me. We were best friends, but we weren't really best friends. I was the dumpy chick he tolerated hanging around. Everyone knew I was hopelessly in love with him, but anyone with eyes could see I wasn't his type. I'm slightly above average height and more than slightly above average weight. I'm mixed race without any of the exoticism it claims to offer. My face is fine, but forgettable. The only thing that stands out about me is my uncontrollable hair, and I have spent a lifetime experimenting with products that might stop that being the case. So I sat on the sidelines, and I watched Alexander go through a series of petite, striking blondes, my favourite part being when they broke up and he would take me to the Twisted Yarn for a debrief. I would sip my dark ale, which made me gag at the time, but now I actually quite like. And I would get to tell him all the things I had been secretly storing for a week, a month, or on one occasion, an entire year. To be honest, I was happy with that. Okay, I was on the outskirts of happy. I could certainly catch the scent of happy if the wind was blowing in the right direction. And then one of the blondes broke his heart. Her name was Jenna. She was impossibly and impractically posh. She was one of those chicks that's done everything. But really, how much can you experience in a rural, all-girls boarding school, and then a small, top-tier university, and then a cushy job, handed to you on a gold platter by your father? Still, when she spoke, Alexander listened. He was like a Labrador when he was with her. He looked at her the way I imagine I looked at him. Anyway, Jenna ended the relationship with very little explanation. I heard a rumour she had joined a bloke called Tristan on his boat in the Caribbean for the summer, but I kept that nugget to myself. Jenna always seemed to have one eye on the lookout for something better, so the breakup came as no surprise to anyone but Alexander. I'm assuming he had been dumped before, but on this occasion, it consumed him. I waited by the phone for him to arrange our usual post-breakup pity party, but the call never came. When I tried to contact him, he wouldn't answer, and his voicemail message said he was taking time out from life. After a few days of this, I did what any friend would do and went to his flat. I let myself in using a key I knew he kept hidden in a pot of dying lavender. The first thing that hit me was the smell. It was 2 parts gym locker room, 1 part that weird odour that haunts kitchen cupboards, and always turns out to be rotting potatoes. Alexander was in bed, and it looked like that had been the case for several days. The debris around him told a story. A broken photo frame, an overflowing ashtray, 3 empty wine bottles, and a pizza box. "Alexander?"